Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Hockenheimring. It is time for the final weekend of the season for the DTM Trophy 2022. Tim Heinemann has done all of the hard work thus far this season to give himself a 51-point lead going into today's race. And Colin Karasani, well, he's got one job today, and that is to indeed keep the championship alive for one more race. So we head a little bit further down the grid then. There is Gruber in that number 84 for the CV Performance Motorsport team. Starting down in P10. The grid is shuffled up due to grid penalties. So you will notice once we go through the order that it's a little bit different to how qualifying finished earlier on, but should prove to add a very interesting chapter to the DTM Trophy 2022 book. There is Tim Heinemann, then championship leader. He's starting down in 9th position. So with grid penalties, he is down into 9th position, but he did indeed secure 2 points in qualifying because he qualified second. So what that means is he has got himself an extra point lead. There's still only 55 points to play for the rest of this season, and he has a 51-point lead. So effectively needs 5 points, and he will be your champion. It is as simple as that for Tim. Here is the number 26 then, Ricky Capo. Desperate to get a race victory this season. Been very unlucky so far this season. Has the pace, but the qualifying today seems like he's struggling with Hockenheim. The car's struggling with Hockenheim a little bit as well. But if we've seen anything this season, it's people coming from the mid-pack and winning races. Anybody can win these races on the day. It's a nice little pan shot then of our grid. At the back of the grid, there's Nick Hanker on the right-hand side. Alexandre Papadopoulos then on the left-hand side. 9 drivers in total did indeed have grid penalties, which has subsequently put them a bit further down the order than they would have expected. Here's Sterian Folev then for the FK Performance Motorsport team in the number 5. The Bulgarian looking to get a points finish here to end the season. Wherever you're watching from around the world, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching on television, you can send me a message on the social media, on Twitter, @ActroVision, or indeed on Instagram as well. And if you're on YouTube right now, watching on the GB broadcast, you can just post a message in the chat there. Let me know where you're watching from or who indeed you are supporting. We just had a little glance there at Sophie Hoffman in the number 48 for the Heinemann Motorsport team in the Audi. Here is Philippe Denez. Then for CV Performance Motorsport, it's got the purple colours on the car. All of the CV cars are the same livery, apart from they have one colour difference. So this one's gold, of course, for Lucas Mauron, returning our 3rd most winningest driver ever in the DTM Trophy. Used to race in the Audi. He's back as a guest driver this weekend. The Swiss driver looking to add more trophies, more podiums to his already illustrious collection. A great season he's had so far in the GTC and the GT4 championships all across Europe. There is Ricky Capo as well. One of the most supported drivers on the YouTube chat. Always have most of the family, loads of fans from Australia tuning in at some crazy times of the day. Lewis Henkefend for the Project 1 outfit. A graduate from the BMW M2 Cup. And has had a mixed season, but for the most part positive. Very good in the race, for sure. And there we've got Joseph Knopp, the Czech driver in the RTR Projects car. The only KTM on the grid. Starting down in P12. Was fastest in free practice 2. Moving a little bit further up the grid then. You can see there is your championship leader on the right-hand side of your grid, Tim Heinemann. And then we're going to look at Nicholas Gruber, the Austrian, for CV Performance. Fair few Austrians today on the grid, as most people now are dispersed from our grid. We've got ourselves around about 5 minutes before we do indeed embark upon our formation lap. Tim Heinemann then for Toyota Gazoo Racing Germany, powered by Ring Racing. Yes, that's a mouthful. Again, leading the championship. Map there on the dash, just in case you get lost. It's the racing driver's equivalent of a sat-nav. Teo Overhaus, very young, talented driver, 17 years old. Drove in DTM this year as a guest driver for Volkenhorst Motorsport, the youngest ever to do so. Also led the race at the Nürburgring. Youngest ever DTM trophy winner as well. So yes, Teo Overhaus is, well, a sensation. Will be a world-level driver for sure in the future. Rodrigo Almeida from Mozambique for the BWT Muka Motorsport outfit. Last winner in the DTM trophy. He won last time out at the Red Bull Ring. Tiago Vivacqua currently third in the championship. The Brazilian looking to indeed guarantee himself that third. Cannot win the championship, but P3 will be exactly what he's looking for. Moritz Lohner for the FK Performance Motorsport team in P11. Oh, sorry, in the number 11 car, not P11. It starts P5. Jacob Regal for Speed Monkeys was pole position, but with a grid penalty has been pushed down to P4. But had a smile on his face yesterday when I spoke to him. There was something that he knew that other people didn't, and it was that the Aston Martin has got some serious pace. And I'm expecting him to have a very good race here today. Eduard Kauhalper, a lot better in the race than qualifying, that's for sure this season. Started very well at the start of the season with qualifying, but in the races, it seems to come alive. Starts on the second row in P3. Colin Karasani. I keep saying this week in, week out, but it is do or die time here. You have to keep the championship alive. He has to win the race and hope that Tim Heinemann finishes outside the top 6. It is as simple as that. Karasani has to win regardless. And well, I've seen a lot of people in the chat supporting Vincent Andronacco. He will start on pole position for the Allied Racing team in the Porsche, in the blue Porsche. So we're about ready to kick off, as there is the boss, Martin Tomczyk, of course, former DTM champion. And there is the most important person here to wave that checkered flag before we embark upon 30 minutes plus 1 lap of racing action. Just waiting for the final checks to be done. Got ourselves about 2.5 minutes before they will take on the formation lap. A little bit of a delay today, obviously. Most people would have heard there was a couple of accidents in the DTM race itself, so we're around about 30 minutes delayed here. So we do appreciate all of your patience, and I'm sure these DTM trophy drivers will absolutely put a show on. So there is Tim Heinemann. All he needs to do is get up to a top 6. And Andronacco, who is pole position, his points will not count today, so he basically gets taken out of the equation. All of the guest drivers are fighting for the trophies, but they're not able to score points. So effectively, he's P8 on the grid, Tim Heinemann. So this is it. All the hard work comes down to this for Tim Heinemann. As we wait for the final boards to be shown up. There we go. There's the 1-minute board. That whistle's seen better days, that's for sure. New whistle, please, for next season. Maybe with the 30 seconds, we'll hear a better blast. But we can absolutely give at least a 5 for effort, as there is Vincent Andronacco on that front row. And we are pretty much ready to go. Final doors then being closed. There's the horn. There's the whistle. Everybody running off the grid now. It is go time here. For the DTM Trophy 2022 finale. In season number 1, it was Tim Heinemann. In the inaugural season, he picked up the championship. He won it with 4 races to go. In season 2, last year, it was Ben Green versus Will Tregurtha. The gap was 1 point going into the final race. Ben Green had to overtake Will Tregurtha at the Norris Ring to win the championship. He did just that. We're here at Hockenheimring, and maybe we're about to crown a double champion today, or will Colin Karasani keep it alive? We started the season at the Lausitz Ring. We headed straight to Italy, to Imola. Then we had 2 races at the Norris Ring where things were very, very scrappy. Then we had a summer break. Nürburgring came around. The races became very much more intense. They were cleaner. There were more finishes. And there were people improving from that summer break. We headed then to Spa-Francorchamps, the best weekend of the season so far for sure. The racetrack, the drivers, the cars, it was perfect. Then we headed to the Red Bull Ring, and I thought Spa could not be beaten. And well, Red Bull Ring provided some incredible racing, but also some heartbreak. Colin Karasani in a very good position to at least come into this weekend with maybe a 35-point disadvantage opposed to 50 with the DNF in the final race. But a new race victor announced themselves with Rodrigo Almeida, making it 6 different winners in the season, setting us up for the finale here at the Hockenheimring. Halfway through the formation lap then, and it comes down to this. Andronacco, P1. Karasani, P2. Simple job for Colin Karasani. Get into the lead of this race, win the race. You cannot get it. You cannot think about what Tim Heinemann's doing. You cannot indeed stop him from going up towards P6, but you've got to do your job. You have to get that race victory just to keep it alive and hope that fortune favors you today. Head to tomorrow, give yourself a chance. Tim Heinemann, it's all about getting into that top 6. Get into the top 6, you are the DTM Trophy 2022 champion, become a 2-time DTM Trophy winner, and well, take a massive leap towards the dream of running in the DTM. So here we go. We are about to go green light racing. So we head then around the final sector here. Merely 3 corners to go. It's the first week here for Andronacco. Not raced in a DTM Trophy ever before, and manages to be on pole position. Colin Karasani's been there, done it, got the T-shirt. Can he go one step further than where he starts on this grid, get up to the lead here, control this race, and potentially take us to a Super Sunday? A championship Super Sunday. 30 minutes plus 1 lap to go, ladies and gentlemen. We are waiting for the green lights. It is finale weekend here. It's race 1 here at Hockenheim in the DTM Trophy 2022, and we are green light racing here. And Andronacco has got a wonderful start here as we head down in towards turn number 1. Colin Karasani under all sorts of pressure from that pink AMG, but gets a lovely run on the exit of turn number 1. What about Heinemann? Well, Heinemann's up the inside then of Indeed. Yeah, it looks like he's up the inside there of Moritz Lohner, as he dropped a little bit further back here. He might have dropped a little bit further back, actually. Looking at it, he is. He's side by side then with Teo Uverhaus. So Teo Uverhaus trying to stay ahead of the Toyota here, trying to help out his BMW brother in Colin Karasani. But I'll tell you one driver who is not looking backwards right now, that is Andronacco. So the Allied Racing driver is in the lead of this race, and he is absolutely driving away. It's 3 wide in the background then, Thiago Vivacqua. We've also got ourselves Almeida, and well, Teo Uverhaus just behind. Jacob Regal falling a bit further back. Moritz Lohner then up into what will be 4th position. A bit of door banging in between the 3 of them. The drone camera doing its work there as well. It's like Inception there, camera on camera, as we head then up towards what will be the Mercedes section, the old Mercedes section, before we head into the stadium section. It is Andronacco that leads the way here. Brilliant start then from that driver. We've then got Karasani in 2nd position, Kalhalper in 3rd, Moritz Lohner gains the position, Regal drops down 1, Almeida, Vivacqua, Uverhaus, and Heinemann is P9. So Heinemann is outside of that top 6 here. He's trying to battle with Teo Uverhaus. You've got Jacob Regal falling backwards here as well. Has he got an issue maybe? Side-by-side action then, as we do indeed head into the stadium section here. And I'll tell you what, Tim Heinemann has gained 1 spot, maybe looking to gain a 2nd. Outside line here is a lot quicker than the inside line. There's just no grip on the inside. You can see there, Heinemann's able to get that power down. We'll have the inside line then running towards that final couple of corners. Uverhaus boxes him in, and that means that Regal can maybe make a run around the outside. I tell you what, it's not quite done here for Heinemann. Now it is, and Heinemann does move up a position, and I think he's up to P8 here. So net P7, because remember, Andronacco does not count here. So Karasani is effectively leading, and Tim Heinemann is down in P7. So the championship would still be alive as Fulgencio tries to go all the way around the outside of JP7. Not sure exactly what happened there. Was there any door banging? No, doesn't look like there was. All good. And actually, Tim Heinemann now is up to that P6. So up to P6, net P6, 7 in the race overall, but 6 because of Andronako. So at the end of lap number 1, it's still Andronako that leads here. He's now 6/10 clear of Karasani. Kauhalper is in 3rd. Moritz Lohner is in 4th position. Vivacqua, Uverhaus, Tim Heinemann, Regal and Almeida. We've then got Gruber in your top 10. See that Moritz Lohner very much is closing in on Kauhalper. You know Kauhalper's going to get faster as this race goes on. And I tell you what, Heinemann's just been, well, he's trying to make the move down Taya Uverhaus, runs a little bit wide. Regal not able to take full advantage. It's side-by-side action behind as well between Ricky Capo and Lewis Henkefend. By the looks of things, through the kink they will come. And you'll see it just about in the background there, as we're now looking at the battle for P3. So again, Andronako doing a job here. Not really feeling the pressure of racing in the DTM Trophy for the very first time. As we see a spin there, Ricky Capo facing the wrong way, slams on the brakes. Doesn't want to go in front of the oncoming traffic, and again, just so unfortunate. We'll have to see exactly how that's gone down there. Daniel Gregor, by the way, has not been in this race, has he? So Daniel Gregor has not managed to even get into the start of this race. Tim Heinemann still trying to find a gap here on Uverhaus, as Uverhaus then gets across and defends that position, which gives Jacob Regal the chance to maybe catch up here. Tim doesn't need to move forward in this race. He's in the position right now that would win him this championship. So he would be winning this championship as it stands if he finishes in the position he's in right now. So here's a replay here then. And Lewis Henkefend, oh, he just doored him there. Not sure where Capo was expected to go. He was fully alongside. And realistically, yeah, I think you're fine. Lewis has got caught watching the CV Performance Motorsport car in front. I'm not really worried about what was on his right-hand side there. So yeah, completely doored. There's not much Ricky Capo could have done there. But as it stands, a bit further up the order, we're looking right down the order now. The battle for the lead is absolutely on here. Tim Heinemann maybe falling a little bit further back away from Theo Uverhaus. So what keeps this championship alive from this point here? Well, it's Tim Heinemann losing 1 position. That's the only way now this championship stays alive, is if Tim goes down to P8. And then it would mean him DNFing tomorrow and Karasani winning the race, plus needing to get 2 bonus points. So he needs to get the fastest lap, and he also needs to get 1 point in qualifying, or no fastest laps and 2 points in qualifying tomorrow. So, oh no, that's not good. That's Nick Hanke. Nick Hanke with a big issue here. The front right is, well, not only punctured now, but snapped suspension, I believe. Yet that car is wibbling and wobbling. It's supposed to go left and right like that, but not quite on its own. So lots of smoke coming there. Doesn't look like there's going to be any liquid on the circuit here, but Nick Hanke is going to try and get the car back to the pit, so I'm not sure what worth that is going to have. So Nick Hanke again having so much bad luck. As we head then on the exit of lap number 3, it is indeed Andronako in P1, Colin Karasani in P2, and I tell you what, he's also got the fastest lap of the race, although that's just been taken. Eduard Kauhalper has just taken the fastest lap of the race, and now Taya Uverhaus has taken it away. So yes, Taya Uverhaus now has that fastest lap of the race. We're about to see what happens here, and wow, Joseph Knopp has just driven into him. Just completely driven into Nick there. Nothing Nick could do. It's as simple as that. Absolutely nothing Nick could have done there. It's on the outside, minding his own business, and then gets absolutely spearheaded into the front right. I'm going to see it once again. Well, no, we've already, well, there's some action in the background there. Jordan Wallace avoiding action of Litvinenko. And there you go. You see the car trying to turn itself there. And that is not ideal in the slightest. Nick has indeed pulled over now. So back up to the front end of this battle. And again, as it stands, Tim Heinemann would be crowned your champion in the position he is in right now. Jacob Regal needs to make an overtake here for this to go to tomorrow. Colin Karasani is doing everything he needs to do. P2 is as good as P1. He won't get the P1 trophy, but he will get the 25 points. But right now, Heinemann being in P7, again, net P6, because Andronako is a guest driver. They cannot score points. I have to stress this so that everybody understands exactly how this is going down. Still a lead then by Andronako, 4/10 of a second. So not a lot in it between the front two. Karasani is going to wait for his opportunity, no doubt. He'll take his time. He's got a good car underneath him. And I told you, when he had that heartbreak at the Red Bull Ring, he will come back firing. He's got that support bubble around him to get him back on his feet. And he is absolutely doing that right now. As they come across the start-finish line, there's absolutely nothing between the front two as it stands. Kauhalper also trying to get in the mix here as well. You've got Moritz Lohner then in 4th position, Vivacqua in 5th, Uverhaus is in 6th, a full second then clear of Heinemann. But again, Heinemann knows he doesn't have to do anything special here. As Tia Uverhaus makes a move up the inside of Vivacqua, Vivacqua leaves the door open, and well, I wouldn't say that Uverhaus has just forced his way through there. It's kind of like, welcome into my house. My door is open, would you like some food kind of deal. Uverhaus says, thank you very much, yes please. Thiago Vivacqua though, with a lovely exit, out of turn number 3, down towards the hairpin, should actually be ahead here by the time they get into the braking zone. Not sure he's going to be fully ahead. Teo Uverhaus with that inside line. Will go very deep under braking is Colin Karasani's trying to make the move for the lead. And I tell you what, has he got the overlap for the next right-hand kink? Very important that he gets into the stadium section here in the lead, because if he does, he can take the optimum line. There's one line through there. There's so much liquid down there from the engines of cars that have had incidents that you really get set offline there. You could be in some serious trouble, and Karasani still keeping hold of this position, and there it is, there's the lead. So he didn't need to do it to get the win in terms of points, but he wants that trophy as well. So Colin Karasani doing everything he needs to do to keep this championship alive. Moritz Lohner also catching up then to the AMG. There's 1.5 seconds separating the top 4. It's very close between all of our top drivers here. And there is the man looking to make it 2 championships in the DTM Trophy in 3 years. Needs to stay put, and he is absolutely golden. Jacob Regal, though, we know turns are yet to happen. As we see the move here from Teo Uverhaus, yeah, Vivacqua just completely missed his braking point. Completely missed his braking point. As we see the move then for the lead, on the inside line, not able to get that power down early enough there, really, Karasani, but still managed to do a great job, not lose the rear of the car, put the pressure on the number 22. As we come then through that right-hand kink, it was a delicious little move, and it could be a vital move moving forward through this weekend. 20 minutes to go. Colin Karasani had to win, has to get the fastest lap here, really. If he can get the bonus point here today as well, then he could be in business. But as it stands, Heinemann, well, he's made a mistake there. So Regal closing in, missed a braking point. And I'll tell you what, we just do not see mistakes from Heinemann. Heinemann is in a position in this championship because he doesn't make mistakes. As Vivacqua tries to make a move back on Teo Uverhaus, has the inside line, gets straight across the bonnet there. And as well, he just gets on the brakes when they're on the curb, loses the rear ever so slightly. Teo Uverhaus swinging it round the outside. It's a lovely little ding-dong between these two. Backs out of the move, and Thiago Vivacqua is now back up ahead of Uverhaus. Brilliant stuff from both these drivers. And, well, respect being shown by both of them as well. Heading into the final sector then, you can see Uverhaus right up in behind Thiago Vivacqua. And really, Heinemann doesn't want this. He doesn't really want to catch this gaggle of cars in front. He would much prefer it to be an easy P6 or P7 overall and just take the trophy. Job's a good one. Absolutely lovely job. But if he catches up to these two, the chances are he's going to get slowed down, and then the pressure will come from the drivers behind. And I tell you, one driver to watch out for would be Almeida. Almeida is just a driver that will get faster and faster and faster as the race goes on. The last 10 minutes, watch out for that AMG. A couple of spots behind Tim Heinemann. It's into the barrier then. It's the number 83. That is not ideal in the slightest there for Lucas Mauron. So Mauron, who of course has managed to get 5 race wins in the DTM Trophy prior to this season. It's his first guest performance, and it looks like something's let go in that car. And as he put that car in a position that's safe enough for us to not have a safety car. So we're going to see a replay here then of the Teo Uverhaus versus Thiago Vivacqua, part 77 of this race. And well, there we go. Well, we're talking about one BWT car. Look at the second one here. Now making a move towards P2 is Eduard Kauhalper. Holding on to that position. Look at Jacob Regal putting the pressure now on Tim Heinemann. Heinemann may be about to have to really fight to hold on to this P7. As we see Andronaka then just trying to open up the next part of this circuit to try and get a lovely run through there. He has done, but the exit should be covered off there by the Frenchman. And the Frenchman then just gets the rear across the bonnet of the Porsche, forces him to be able to get off that power, so we can't drive through him. And that is a textbook move, but just gives Karasani a bit more breathing room here. Look at Moritz Lohner. Moritz Lohner here, circling like a predatory shark. Is there an opportunity for him to snaffle another podium? That is the question. Again, multiple different lines being taken through this final sector, through that hairpin. The outside line having more grip. Karasani slowly being caught here as well. Even with that overtake, Kauhalper is actually slowly catching up towards Karasani, and that is the last thing he needs. He wants a nice 17 minutes here where it's nice and simple. Here's a lovely move. Just sends it up the inside. Andronako's given up halfway through and thinking, do you know what? I'm going to get on the power earlier on the exit. I'm going to get a better exit here. But he just covered it off beautifully well. Kauhalper, that's a delicious move. Really nice stuff. Moves up to P2. And, well, you see Tim Heinemann here. Off into the gravel. And I tell you what, is Tim Heinemann showing signs of nerves here? That's a big, big question. Is he showing some signs of nerves here? Just doesn't look like the same Tim Heinemann we've had all season. Anyway, here's part 78 of the Thiago Vivacqua versus Teo Uverhaus battle as Moritz Lohner looks to try and make a move on Andronako down in towards the hairpin. And Teo Uverhaus then very late under braking, hits the apex nicely. And Vivacqua's going to try and get on the power early as well. Regal's going to run wide. That might leave a door open here then for Almeida. Of course, Almeida, no stranger to going and getting overtakes and winning races. And I tell you what, he's got to filter back in behind Regal. Still side by side between these two. I think they just touched wheels as well. Bit of smoke being kicked up. And, well, Uverhaus sends it up the inside. Vivacqua runs wide anyway. And this, ladies and gentlemen, these two have been brilliant all season. Not overly aggressive, not taking liberties, but racing harsh and fair. Brilliant stuff then. Look at Regal. Regal now trying to retake the position he just lost out to Almeida. They're both going to lose a hell of a lot of time through this right-hander. And Regal is going to gain the spot. And wow, look at this. Lewis Henkefend is like, thank you very much, I'm having this. Tim Heinemann's making a move on to Thiago Vivacqua. Has Vivacqua got a problem here? So Vivacqua, I think, is okay. It's the quickest formation lap in the world we're watching right now. As we see, Gruber also trying to come through. Two AMGs trying to assault the Aston Martin in front. But Lewis Henkefend says, thank you very much. And does the Project One driver in that BMW have something to say about this championship? Can he go and catch up to Tim Heinemann and, well, actually take points away from him to help his teammate Colin Karasani out? I think Heinemann's got ahead of Vivacqua as well. So Colin Karasani has now got the fastest lap of the race as well. So that's an extra bonus point. But I think Tim is now net P5, still racing between this group of cars here. Regal trying to find a run here on Lewis Henkefend. And they're going to be side by side all the way down towards the hairpin. Flat out between the two of them. Aston Martin power versus BMW power. The Aston Martin will have that inside line. But will Henkefend be able to take this position? He's got the outside line. Very deep under braking. Regal will go and, well, follow him through. Almeida says, thank you very much, I'll have that. Regal runs off circuit here. That's the second time in a row he's done that. And he will certainly receive a couple of warnings for that as well. But look at Gruber. Gruber, P11 right now, just trying to find something here, trying to pick up some scraps that are being left down. But yeah, last time we checked, well, I tell you what, Heinemann has got that position, but Vivacqua is looking to retake it here. It's not making this easy. So Vivacqua struggling after the little bit of contact him and Uverhaus had. And, well, Vivacqua's going to try and swing it around the outside. Tim Heinemann goes defensive. Should be a bit slower on the exit here. And this is really where the tyres are starting to let go. It's about nursing them at this point, trying to get some sort of performance. Heinemann now in a net P5. He's 6th overall in this race, but it's a net P5 because Andronako does not count for the points. And this would be his second ever DTM Trophy Championship. Shout out to Papadopoulos, by the way. P14 right now for Alex. Maybe looking to get up to those points once again. Has been super consistent in terms of getting that top 10 all season long. He started on the back row of the grid today, down in P24, and he's managing to make it up to P14 already. So he's gained 10 spots. Can he gain any more, though? That is the question. So Karasani now leading by 2 seconds as it is. Hopefully everybody, wherever you're watching from around the world, are really enjoying this. There are some twists and turns in this race, but right now Heinemann has just done enough, or doing enough, as it stands. Again, Colin Karasani still has the fastest lap of this race, so that means he gets that extra bonus point. But if Tim Heinemann is to stay in the position he's in as well, he's actually going to get overtaken here. Vivacqua making a lunge up the inside. We can just see it in the rear of the camera there. Did Vivacqua get the power down early enough? We're about to see it close up. Oh, he's got the job done. So he's got that job done, and now Heinemann is still in a position to win this championship. So it's not all said and done. He's still in P6 net, so he's okay. He's going to get 8 points. So Karasani, right now, we add 26 points to his total. He's going to be on 173. And then if we add the 8 points here, it's 206 for Tim Heinemann. Here's the move, though. Vivacqua late on the brakes up the inside, and Heinemann knows the maths. The first thing he said to me this weekend was 1 P6. 1 P6. He doesn't have to worry about qualifying or anything like that. 1 P6 and he's golden. So he knows exactly what he's doing here. Any other race he's fighting for that position. And right there, I think he's just used his championship nous to indeed guarantee no contact, and he's all good. As we see a battle here for P3. Through then the first corner. Moritz Lohner very much closing up here, isn't he? As we see a potential lunge there. Andronoko then goes a little bit late in terms of the defensive, but look at Moritz Lohner on the power early. And unfortunately, he was maybe 3 inches too close there. If he's about 3 inches further back, he could have kept his foot down on the loud pedal. And I think that might be an easy move down in towards the hairpin. But I'll tell you what, it might still be an easy move down in towards the hairpin. Look at the pace that Moritz has got. Uses the slipstream. He's going to have to go the long way round. Going to have to go the very long way round here. And Andronako is going to try and hold that line on the inside. Goes very deep under braking himself. Moritz Lohner is going to leave plenty of room to work with. And Andronako says, absolutely not today, sunshine. I will keep hold of that position. And wow, it's normal service resumed. Black and white flag for cars 18, 63 and 77. So all three of those cars now, if they get one more track limits excursion, they will receive a time penalty. Still battling for what will be P3. Karasani leads by 2.7 seconds and has the fastest lap. So 26 points will be added to his championship total. So that puts him on to 173. 28 points are in the offering tomorrow. And Tim Heinemann right now is gaining 8 points, and that puts him... Oh, that's a move then by Moritz Lohner around the final couple of corners. Andronako still has that inside line here and will just about hold on to it. Moritz then thinks about a dive, decides against it. And at this point, they're kind of playing into the hands here of Teo Uverhaus. So Uverhaus is absolutely licking his lips at the opportunity of a podium here. Can he catch up? Andronako on his debut, a podium, be an absolute dream day for Vincent. Through then turn number 1 they come. Still very close, both running off the circuit there. Nearly ended up at the Lausitz ring. They were that far off circuit through turn number 1. I'm sure they're going to be looking at warnings for that as well. As we come then through turn number 2, Moritz should get a bit of a better run here, but he hasn't actually. Andronako did a great job. So this is the battle between the two of them there. Andronako bouncing the car over every curb. Side by side between the two of them. Perfect room left by both of them. Moritz then gives it up. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. So we now head down towards the hairpin. More overtakes happening here. Or more potential overtakes. Look at Uverhaus though. Teo Uverhaus looking for his opportunity himself here. Look at Tim Heinemann. Tim Heinemann with a lovely gap now to work with. Regal not close enough to take advantage. And as we head then towards the dying embers of this race, it is going to be enough here for Tim Heinemann to win this championship. There's only 28 points in the offering tomorrow, with there being 25. Well, sorry, there's 29 points in the offering tomorrow. So there's 25 points for the race win, 1 point for fastest lap tomorrow, and 3 points for pole position. And right now, we're seeing a battle forming with the P19 here. This is for a top 10. This is for the final points position as well. So Tim Heinemann will be at 34 points in the lead going into tomorrow as it stands. So 34 points in the lead as it stands. Teo Overhaus is caught up now for the potential battle for a podium. We've got these all going at it here for the final points paying position. As we slide Philip Dinez there, following his teammate. He goes a little bit further though. And Papadopoulos in the background. He'll be seeing 3 AMGs in front of him, thinking, if you guys can tangle up here, there's an opportunity for me to sneak in and take away yet another point. So heading then through turn number 2. Almeida gone from winning races last time out to trying to hold on to P10. That is the DTM Trophy in a nutshell. The talent is so equal. Anyone can win at any moment. It's a fantastic grid to be commentating on. It really is. And they've all just got faster and faster as the races have gone on. So heading then through the kink. And again, there's Tim Heinemann. Stays in this position. It is done. He becomes 2-time DTM Trophy champion. Karasani, you've got to tip your hat. He's done everything he possibly can. And it still just might not be enough. As he's sliding round turn number 1. Are you on the limit there, Colin? Yes. Yes, he is. Driving the absolute wheels off of it. And it could have been so much closer. A lot of misfortune this season. I think Tim has been exceptional. You cannot take it away from Tim Heinemann. If you've been watching all season long, he has been phenomenal and such a hard nut to crack. But Colin Karasani, he has been right up there. He has been pushing him since Imola, really. Didn't get a great start to the season, but Imola, double win, really announced himself in his championship and really has not looked back since then. Fantastic driving from him, from the young Dutchman, only 18 years old. Spoke to him today and I just said, regardless of what happens this season, Colin, you've got a massive future ahead of you. Maurice Lohner then having to go defensive here might turn out to be an accidental move for a P3. He's now going to get halted there, has to get off the power and look at Teo Overhaus. Double toe for Teo. And we know how good he is under braking. Running down through the left-hand kink. Flat out all the way down then. 5 minutes remains of this race. And this is the battle for the final podium position. Maurice Lohner then sends one at the inside. He's gone around the outside twice. Has to go up the inside. It finally works out. Andronoko will be on the power a little bit earlier there. I say a little bit earlier, a lot earlier. Because he's got the overlap on the inside. As they come through the kink here, Maurice Lohner's going to have to yield, surely. He's not going to be able to keep the car alongside. He is not going to be able to do so. And, well, Andronako will have to live to fight one more day. And Ham, it's like a cat. He's got 9 lives here for the podium. And he is just about holding on for the Allied Racing team. And look at Teo Overhaus. Teo Overhaus might make this a little bit easier for Andronako by putting a bit of pressure onto Maurice Lohner as well. Off we go for Vivacqua. And, well, if Tim Heinemann needed a bit of insurance, there it is. There is the freebie. Moves up then to P6 in this race. It was already enough where he was. I think Vivacqua might be done here. That is going to be a DNF. Vivacqua has got a huge issue here. Looks like there's a lack of power. And, well, he's got to just try and get himself out of the way. On the curb he will go. And he will get back to the pits here, which means we will not have a late safety car in this race. But Thiago Vivacqua has been, every time he finishes the race, he's been exceptional, but reliability has been a plague of his season for sure. And he brings it into the pits. And it's another disappointing day for Thiago Vivacqua. Back to the battle then for what would be the top 3. Maurice Lohner is going to have to try and find that inside line once again. Tyres are going to be pretty much non-existent at this point in the race. So you just got to be brave. You've got to back your own driving ability now. And is there the opportunity for a twist in this podium tail? Vivacqua dropping all the way down the order. Absolutely gutted for Thiago. And I just hope we get to see the season out here as Moritz forces Andronako to leave the door open ever so slightly, but cannot again get that power down. Look at Teo Overhaus. He's trying to get the power down, sliding the rear left and right like a snake. But Andronako holding on once again. Really nice defensive display here from a debutant. Through the right hand, the left-hander, should I say. And well, you just saw there, it is 208 points to Tim Heinemann. So my maths was wrong. I thought it was 206, but again, he's just gained a position, of course, because of Tiago, so that's an extra 2 points. So it will be 208, and it's going to be enough for him to be a double DTM Trophy champion. There he is, still pushing the car. Has no need to do so. 2 minutes, 30 seconds to go. And can Moritz Lohner find himself a gap to work with? Can he find himself an overtake? Or will Andronako make that car wider than it's ever been before? Onto the start-finish straight they come, as they start maybe the third from last lap. So they've got 3 laps to go here. And Andronako has to defend that hairpin 3 more times. Moritz Lohner with a really nice run there through turn number 1. I tell you what, he might have a good enough run to make a move in towards turn 2. Uverhaus will want him to try and do so he can break late around the outside. Watch Uverhaus here, watch his exit. His exit's going to be exceptional. It's better than both of them here, so they've got to watch out for Teo Uverhaus. Andronako went defensive, Moritz Lohner followed him, and wow, this could be very fascinating heading in towards that hairpin through the kink left-hander as we get a shot here of what the potential issue might be. I'm no mechanic, to be honest, so it just looks like a broken car. Down in towards the hairpin we go then. Moritz Lohner forces Andronako to go defensive once again. He's got the nose up ahead here, but he's going to be under pressure from Uverhaus. Look at Uverhaus. Can he get that power down, make it 3 wide? He cannot. Andronako forces Moritz Lohner off the circuit. Lohner's got the better drive out on the exit. He's going to have the outside line through the kink once again. This should work in Andronako's favour, but has Moritz kept it in? Has he got the nose in there? Not quite. Has to back out. And once again, Andronako holds on. A little nudge there from Moritz Lohner. And well, Andronako is going to be furious with how that's gone down. Moritz then will get up into what will be P3. But I tell you what, that might be looked at there. Uverhaus, innocent party here. He'll be loving that. It's fine. Now he's going to off to attack for the potential P3. 1 minute left in this race, so there'll be 2 laps as they cross the line next time around. And it's now Moritz Lohner versus Teo Uverhaus. And I tell you what, Teo Uverhaus has just sent one up the inside there. But he's a lot slower through there, side by side through the final couple of corners. Moritz Lohner's got to keep that inside line here. He's got to squeeze Teo out on the exit. It's brilliant stuff from both of them. Again, the little nudge that we saw from Moritz Lohner is just so unlike him. But look at Uverhaus keeping his foot in. Across the line they're going to come. It's side by side between the 2 of them. Almost touching again in towards turn number 1. Moritz Lohner does indeed yield. And wow, what an exchange of a lap that was. Heading then down in towards turn 2 once again. And Moritz Lohner still trying to hold on to this ball, trying to regain the position here. Uverhaus then has got the run, but look at Andronako. Andronako now is in the predatory position, chasing down the 2 BMWs. Was the prey, now the predator. Side by side with Moritz Lohner. I'd be very surprised if Moritz Lohner fights this too crazily, because he might be looking at a penalty really for that nudge. He gained an advantage via contact. Andronako then is going to, well, he's gone up nice and wide there to try and get a good exit here again. Teo Uverhaus under some sort of pressure. You've got the inside line for Moritz Lohner. If he does have any kind of overlap here, he will get a better run through this corner. It's brilliant stuff from Moritz Lohner. He does indeed have that overlap. Teo Uverhaus has the inside line, runs off circuit, and there's such a terrible braking zone now because of all the rubbish. And well, Andronako now having to go with a little nudge as well. They're almost 3 wide then as they come through the middle sector. We're about to end the middle sector. We're about to head on to the final lap of this race. And Andronako says, Moritz Lohner, I'll have that position back, please, on track. You don't have to give it to me. And now off to chase down Teo Uverhaus for that podium. 1 lap remains then here. Karasani leads this race. He had to win this race. He had to get fastest lap to keep the championship alive. He has done just that, but he needed Heinemann to be outside the top 6. Tim Heinemann is in P6. With 1 lap to go here, if it stays as it is, Tim Heinemann will be a double DTM Trophy champion, 2020 and 2022. As the battle for now P4 as Teo Uverhaus has just checked out. He's like, yeah, I'm gone. That was lovely fun, lads, but yeah, I'm off. 1 more lap to go, I'm done. Still Moritz then trying to find some sort of gap. And there are battles all over the show right now. All over the place. But here is Colin Karasani. This young man's made of strong stuff, I can tell you that. The devastation that he must have felt last time out at the Red Bull Ring, knowing that his championship realistically was over. Not mathematically, but realistically, his championship was over by something out of his control. But he's shown great character, great dress sense today as well. Looks very smart, by the way. But he's shown great character. He's come back Still got a smile on his face. Very strong-willed personality as we still look on board here with Moritz Lohner trying to make the move here at Andronako. And I tell you what, Andronako has been an absolute breath of fresh air today. What an exceptional driver this young man is. Maybe this is the first of many times we see him in the DTM Trophy. Who knows? But the best thing is we get to watch him, we get to drink it in tomorrow. But back then to Colin Karasani. I told you at the Red Bull Ring, it was a devastating weekend for him, but he will come back fighting. He will give absolutely everything for this DTM Trophy Championship. He'll give absolutely everything to keep the DTM Trophy Championship alive. He had to come here. He had to get at least some points in qualifying. He had to get the fastest lap of the race, which he has done. And he had to take the checkered flag in race 1 of the weekend. Colin Karasani for Project One will take that checkered flag. He will indeed win this race, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough. Tim Heinemann, who's currently in P6, is about to come in behind Moritz Lohner. And it's going to be his second championship. 2020 champion in DTM Trophy. And in 2022, Tim Heinemann picks up the checkered flag there in 6th position, but also wins the championship. An incredible performance from him from start to finish. He has just been absolutely ruthless. You've got to tip your hat to Colin Karasani. He's worked so hard today just to potentially keep it alive, but Tim had done the hard work previously in the season, did not give an inch all season long, and well, it came to the second to last race, and he just needed that P6, and he's gone out there and indeed got it. Congratulations to him and the team, of course. Toyota Gazoo Racing Germany, powered by Ring Racing, the longest name in the world of motorsport. And, well, the whole team deserve a massive pat on the back because they have worked tirelessly this season. And the Toyota, well, P3 last season, P1 this season. Tim Heinemann, drink it in, because you thoroughly deserve this. As we see on the little nudge here given by Moritz Lohner. We've had nothing on our screens to say that there's a penalty or anything like that, but we just saw the nudge. Andronako also gave a nudge as well here, but this battle between the two of them, who needs wing mirrors, eh? When a car's side by side with you, you don't need a wing mirror to see them. Little bit of door rubbing there. Just about enough room left, I would say, from Theo Uverhaus, but there were just battles all over, and this summarizes the championship beautifully well. All season long, they have been racing side by side, and see that Moritz Lohner sliding the rear of the car out, but then that just gives Theo Uverhaus the chance to indeed get a nice run across the start-finish line down towards turn number 1. But yeah, here we go. Some more door banging between the two of them. Andronako then for Allied Racing getting involved, but then as we go back to Colin Karasani, he's going to be gutted. You know, he's going to be absolutely gutted. But remember the name, Colin Karasani, because he will be a champion somewhere. Not sure where it's going to be, but he will be a champion somewhere. This kid's made of strong stuff. And he's still got one more race to showcase his skill set tomorrow. But as much as he's won the race, the day does belong to Tim Heinemann. P6, that's all he needed to do. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will be a championship sewn up. It's a different kind of Tim Heinemann this season. Season 1 in 2020, not many smiles from Tim. I actually believe that he wasn't able to smile at one point. This season, just so much more relaxed. Once you've got a championship in your back pocket, I guess things become a little bit more easier. You can lean on that experience. And well, that relaxed, that smiley nature has now brought home a well-deserved championship. So here is the moment. Going over as close to the team as possible, flashing off the lights. And there is your DTM 2022 champion. And there is the celebrations. Not sure I need to... Yeah, not sure we need subtitles to hear what was said then. I do apologise for any bad language, but you can completely understand in this circumstances. They're not worried about a camera watching them, that's for sure. There is Theo Uverhaus, who did get that podium. You know, almost forgetting about Theo and how he managed to get the podium is an incredible performance to get himself there onto the podium. And if there's one thing I've learned in my time as a racing commentator, these drivers are so quick, but they are all terrible at parking. Colin taking the P1. So there is Tim again, not going to be on the podium here, but there was a bigger story for him. It was about picking up the championship. And there's some celebrations there. Very excited, but you can just tell it's a little bit muted because of the overall objective for the season. But an incredible show from Colin Karasani. And like I said, he's got a hell of a bright future ahead of him. And there's Tim. Doesn't really show emotion much, but you can tell there in those pictures that he is very, very happy. There's Theo Uberhaus, just taking everything in his stride as usual. Like nothing matters. Theo just wants to go fast. And I will say to everybody who has been watching over the course of this season, hopefully you've enjoyed this season. It's been an incredible racing season. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube or wherever you're watching from around the world on television. Make sure you come back and check it out next season. There's still plenty more action in this series for many seasons to come. I'm going to leave you now with the pictures of the podium.
Sein Name ist Theo Uberhaus. Gratulation. Von den DTM-Fahrer aus dem Audi-Sportteam Rosberg gibt es entsprechend den Pokal für Platz 3 für Theo Uberhaus. Unser Zweitplatzierter, Gratulation. Der Pokal für unseren zweitplatzierten Eduard Kope. Wir begrüßen auf dem Podium für das siegreiche Team Project One Marcel Günther-Wichmanns. Gratulation! Das siegreiche Team Project One, wieder von Dave. Der Sieger des vorletzten DTM Trophy Laufs aus den Niederlanden, Colin Karasani. Der Sieger der Trophäe für den Erfolg am heutigen Samstag. Einmal 25 Punkte. Und nun zur Ehre des Siegers, zur Ehre von Colin Karasani, gibt es erstmal die niederländische Hymne. Wunderbar, großartig, bestes Wetter, großartiges Rennen und ich würde mich freuen, wenn ihr etwas zusammentreten könnt. Please get a bit together for our podium picture. Thank you very much. Put on your nicest smile. Thank you so much. Und ja, sobald die Objektive unten sind, it's time for Champagne, guys!
So there it comes to an end, race number 1 of the weekend. But the beauty of this is the championship may be over in terms of a winner, but we still got one more race to go tomorrow. Every single race this season has been truly exceptional in its own way. And well, hopefully we'll provide one more outstanding race for you tomorrow. So wherever you watched around the world, the schedule is exactly the same. Qualifying is at the same time in the morning, and indeed the race is at the same time in the afternoon, or a little bit earlier. It'll be the normal schedule. But make sure, if you've got notifications on your YouTube, go to the stream right now and turn notifications on. If you're watching on television, well, just make sure that you are there at the right time. As we see pictures again of the team celebrating, tears for sure, as Tim Heinemann is crowned your 2022 DTM Trophy champion. So as we have some more shots there of the champion in that Toyota. Tim Heinemann, two wheels Tim, in that Toyota Gazoo Racing Germany, powered by Ring Racing. And what a deserving champion. Not quite as easy as season 1, that is for sure, but champion all the same. And there's Colin again. Did everything he had to do today. Win, fastest lap, qualified well as well. Just wasn't going to be enough, unfortunately. But the champagne will taste sweet all the same. We almost forget about him, by the way. Eduard Kauhalper, P2. Great performance there from the young Frenchman as well. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, we've got this all again tomorrow. So wherever you're watching from around the world, make sure you tune in tomorrow morning for qualifying, and then tomorrow afternoon for the final race of the season. I'm sure it will be as spectacular as the rest that has indeed been before it.